Normally I'd be filming in my room, but I woke up at 6:30 this morning. I don't know why. Looked up directly over my bed, about halfway up the wall. There was a spider the size of a baseball, just chilling there. First I thought, oh, I'm dreaming. This is a full-on nightmare. Got up, went to turn the light on, just to make sure I had clear view of the enemy. Looked away for maybe half a second. One of those, you know what I mean? Turned back around, gone. Wasn't there. I have a theory. He has fallen behind the back of my bed. So I'm not going in there. This thing looks enormous. And I know that the bigger the spider, the less venomous it is, but it also looks like a spider. They're not inviting creatures. Tangential to what I wanted to talk about today. So if you've watched any of my videos before, there's a chance you've heard me tell the story about how I moved to Los Angeles a week before COVID happened. It's back in February of 2020. I think I got there the last week. Hadn't figured out where I was gonna live up until the day I basically got there. I'd been on like Facebook in the hotels that I was staying in as I was driving across the country. And I had an appointment to see this one place when I got there. Saw it, was like, yeah, this is cool. I mean, I'll pay part of the rent if I can move in today. So I landed on my feet pretty quickly. It's kind of giving me some optimism about this new chapter of my life. I was feeling, you know, okay. Drove across country, didn't have a place lined up, managed to work it out in a day and a half. It's pretty good. Now you gotta get, figure out what that next step is career-wise. A week later, LA went into lockdown, and the entertainment industry was put on pause. So I ended up spending 6 months in a city where I knew maybe 2 or 3 people, none of which you could go see, obviously, sleeping in an apartment that had no furniture in like any of the common spaces, with the exception of a military cot that I was sleeping on, no mattress, a little desk chair, like a little plastic desk chair, which, gonna be honest, is probably the reason I'll end up developing scoliosis later on, and then an egg chair that I bought as lounge furniture so I could play The Last of Us 2 when it got released. So I spent most of my time kind of getting up in the morning, going from the military cot to the cockroach-infested kitchen, to my desk, to maybe an afternoon in the eggplant chair, to bed, and repeat. Well, to military cot, and repeat. And that was 6 months of my life. This wasn't the first time I had been to LA. I had relocated there on 2 separate occasions prior to that, and then left for reasons that I'm now about to explain. LA is kind of considered the hub of the entertainment industry. I mean, Atlanta is sort of picking up steam a little bit more as of late. And being a screenwriter, that's obviously what I wanted to do. So I thought, best place for me to be, really, is on the West Coast. What's ironic is every time I went out there, I ended up setting something up within the entertainment industry that was where I had just come from. I'll explain. The first time I went, I was kind of there because I'd written a screenplay that had become a finalist in a couple festivals. And I had a friend out there who I was kind of crashing with, and then, kind of like trying to set up meetings with friends of friends that I sort of knew in and around that trip. And then kind of my return ticket was coming up, and I was like, okay, I hadn't planned on moving out here really. I was just kind of here for this festival thing. I don't really have all my stuff with me anyway, so I'm not gonna stay. And I think I was home for maybe 2 weeks before I ended up booking a short film that's actually on this YouTube channel called A Clean, Well-Lighted Place. It was one of like the first really high caliber things I'd ever been involved with, especially in front of the camera. Second time I was in LA, I was there for 3 months. The way it had timed out, Christmas was coming up, like at the end of the 3 months, and the people I was staying with had plans for the holidays, and so I was gonna be going home just to see my family and everything then anyways. And while I was back, through a series of events, I ended up being able to produce a short film that I had written, which is also, again, on this channel, called Not Shaken. It's like a James Bond parody where he's trying to get information from the Bond girl at the bar, and the whole time the bartender is messing up his drink order, so whenever he tries to be suave, he's interrupted by the fact that he has to keep sending his drink order back. It was an okay script, but it was really fun, and I really, really enjoyed being able to kind of add that to the portfolio. Then this last time, post-COVID trip, this was the big kahuna, right? I'd been out there for 6 months, sitting in self-isolation. Well, I had the cockroaches, but I was kind of getting fed up. I was like, this is expensive, I am not doing anything, I'm not seeing anybody, nobody's getting back to me on Indeed. This is lame. I don't really want to be here anymore. That being said, I had been on a couple like acting forums. Well, I mean, they're just like their general entertainment forums, but they had acting roles going as well. And you'll maybe hear back from like, if you applied at 300, you could anticipate hearing back from 10. And one of them happened to be for a TV pilot that was filming near to where I had just moved from. And you'll never guess what happened. I actually found out that I had booked one of the characters in this production as I was packing my desktop into the car to drive out of LA. Yeah. So it's called Dreaming a City. It follows the men responsible for the consolidation of various counties in the Indiana region. I play a blind Republican war veteran in it. I'm not totally sure what the final product is going to look like. They pitched it to us, the actors, as it being a TV pilot, but then we heard that it was going to have some like documentary elements to it as well, and pulling a lot from like the actual historical images. That being said, it was sort of the silver lining of leaving LA for the third time, kind of knowing I had this project to come back to and I was going to be able to work on this, and, you know, up that IMDb profile. So we shot that in October of last year. They told us it was going to be out by December. I remember at the time thinking that was going to be ambitious, and it has just been announced for June 24th, scheduled to go live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, you know, I mean, they're not paying me to promote this. I was involved in it, and I had a really fun experience putting it together. I just don't think it could hurt to have more people check it out. It's kind of in the vein of what I typically do on here, you know, movie making. Instead of just reacting to other people's, though, I'm acting in this one. Although acting is reacting. I totally understand if you don't watch it now. I might do a live stream for it, just kind of as it goes live, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do something where I think it'd be funny to, in an effort to sort of abate my own self-indulgence of like watching it myself and then reacting to myself in it. That feels a little bit too egotistical. I might have my brother make a reappearance and roast me and my performance in it. It'd be kind of like a fun middle ground maybe, so we'll see. That might happen. He doesn't know about this. If he watches this before I ask him and he says no, there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, please check it out. And yeah, just so you know, I'm not coming back yet. I'm still technically on a little bit of a hiatus from this. You want to know what's hilarious? I basically said I was taking a break from putting videos out, and the email account that I have hooked up to this YouTube account, I almost never check, and I just kind of was like impatient, like I don't know what compelled me to take a look at it kind of after that video went live, but I had three separate sponsorship offers from various brands where they wanted to like work with me. It's like the second you pivot, or like the second you give up, things tend to come together. Does anybody else notice that? That can't just be me. I feel like that's just like a weird phenomenon that happens in life. But thank you very much for watching. If you want me to do a live stream, if you would rather me do that video idea with my brother, leave it in the comments below, and I'll pick the one that most people want me to do. You call the shots, babe. I just wanna be yours.